Are we
Hello,
good?
hello, hello.
Are we good? Chat, let us know. Can you see us?
I have no control over the stream for
That's so
once.
weird.
I am
So weird
just
to have
here.
you as a guest and not the other way around.
I am waiting for you guys to yeah. It's so weird not being the host.
So yeah, let's just give it a second just to make sure that if someone can tell us if they see us in the chat, YouTube, Discord, X. I'm sure it's fine.
Is this streaming to Discord too?
Actually, no, to Twitch. My bad. I meant Twitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't know how does it do that? I gotta do that.
No, let's see. I'm gonna triple check. I don't have Purs with me today, so he's the master. I mean, you're the master too, but on the back end. So let me just check, and then I will introduce you. All right, let's see. Let's go on
Cool.
X.
If you guys are here, say what's up in the chat. Hello, Joe, Peter. What's up, guys? I see
We're good. We're good.
people on YouTube are watching. If you guys are here, please say hello. We'll probably give it a few minutes, right? Just to let people kind of
Yeah.
jump on
And
in
we
here.
are running, so I think we're ready to go. We can start. But hi everybody. Wanted to host today. My first personal guest stream. We I was gonna have one last week, but we had like the API nodes dropping. So today is my official first guest stream, and it's with the one and only JBoog and the man, the myth, the legend. Introduce yourself for those who don't know you, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows you.
I don't know. I feel like I've been laying low on the ComfyUI side of things. But what is up, everybody? My name is Tyler, better known as JBoog's Creative in our wonderful little AI social media sphere. Yeah, I've been doing nothing but AI full time for like the past 3 years, 3.5 years, and it's been wild. And hopefully we can have a good time today. I see a bunch of people in the chat now. Some of you guys
Yep.
might know me from my previous role leading social media over at Civitai, as well as just being active on my social media channels. And yeah, looking forward to talking about some open source stuff again today, since I haven't in a minute.
Do you want to tell us what you do for work now? But first, before we get going, this it's going to give time for people to join a little more.
Yeah, for sure. So well, here I'll give you guys a little bit of a recap. I was very fortunate that I got my start in AI with Warp Fusion, and we were making these AI animation videos in Google Colab notebooks, which was around the time that I first met MJ. And that, if you remember Warp Fusion, that was just like, it was amazing, and it was also the biggest like pain in the ass to make a video that you could possibly ever ask for, but it was fun. It was fun. And I was really fortunate that at that time I was posting my Warp Fusion videos everywhere every time I made one. And one of the places I was always posting it was the Stable Diffusion subreddit. You will not catch me ever posting a video in the Stable Diffusion subreddit nowadays.
No, yeah, it's too
No.
too hostile.
But
For sure.
but back then, the vibe was really good. And whenever I would post a video in the Stable Diffusion subreddit, my video would get upvoted to the top. And that happening often enough led me to getting contacted by Civit. And then just through like casual conversations with them, I ended up with a full-time job for the past 2 years doing social media for Civitai and managing all the content and stuff. And that just recently came to an end about 2 months ago. And so now I work for a company called LivePeer with a product called Daydream, which is focusing on real-time video AI generation and trying to really push that forward. And ComfyUI is the back end for everything that we're building at Daydream. So that's what I'm doing now. And of course,
Nice.
just building out like the JBoog's creative universe.
Yeah, I'm sure this is keeping you quite busy. Yeah, you're making a lot of content.
I literally always have something I could be doing.
Yep. So yeah, this is awesome. And Yeah, I just and also before we get into some comfy, I saw you just posted another collab with Will Smith. Congratulations on that. It's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so super fortunate. I had a collaboration with Will Smith a couple months ago that ended up doing really, really well. I was making these characters with like these giant silver grills for teeth, and they reached out and they wanted me to make Will Smith like with the grills eating spaghetti in like the Matrix, and that's what I did, and the post did really well. They reached out to me again uh about 2 weeks ago, and we just had another collaboration post yesterday, and the video is already at almost like 4 million views. So
It's
super stoked
crazy.
on that. And then this morning I had another collaboration with them, but for the Fresh Prince side of things. So yeah, just super fortunate for all these positions and collaborations I've been able to kind of like find myself into just by being super consistent with what I do.
Nice. And I believe you've been using like lately a little more of the closed source like tools, right?
Mm.
But the crowd, I'm sure most of the people know that you were used to be called the Breakfast Daddy, and and I think people remember that you were making these awesome food videos, right? Like of like dancing and a lot of stuff with the syrup, and I figured it would be a cool thing to go over some of the workflow that you use in Comfy to make these. So.
Yeah, so I actually have that queued up. And yeah, so about for like the last year or like 2 years, um, I got my first big boom on social media, which really kind of like kicked everything off for me on the professional side of things with stuff I was doing in Animate Diff in ComfyUI with a workflow that I built with the help of many people who helped me piece together my ideas in the workflow over a long period of time. So there was like a period of time with Comfy, and because I've been using like Kling and doing the image to video stuff a lot lately, I don't know if it's still like this. Every now and then I read Banadoko, but
Mhm.
um, when I was using Comfy every day for those 2 years, I noticed that like new stuff would come out so often and so much
Mhm.
that I felt like people would jump from workflow to workflow and pipeline to pipeline so quickly before any individual workflow or pipeline really like even got like before anyone was able to figure out like how to use all these other things to their full potential. And
Yeah.
I really dug my heels in the ground with my workflow and explored all the different ways I could use it and how far I could push it. And it basically took me um up until like the closed source tools were just too good to ignore.
Yeah, yeah, you pushed like the envelope really far for that your workflow for sure. Yeah, it's I know like you've shared like some versions of it on Civit before, and but I'm sure like people will really appreciate seeing like some of the nuances of how you came about this. But regardless, at the end of the day, though, there's a lot of prep work, a lot of like choice that you have to make. It's really not plug and play. I know it's a lot of work, anyways, no matter what.
So I always said, and maybe people don't like hearing this part of it, but I always said that the real magic um in a lot of what I did was actually done outside of Comfy.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah, yeah,
like, yeah, that was always my thing, was like there's so much that could be done prior to anything being done in Comfy that could completely change the output of the video. And so I was really focused on, okay, what could I do in After Effects first before, like how far could I push it and manipulate my footage before it even touched Comfy to see what was up. And was I figured out a couple really cool things. And I think if you, one second, let me make sure
yeah. I was gonna
nothing.
say before you share your screen. And by the way, hi Bennett. I see. Hi Bennett. Hi Golden Ape.
Bennett, what's up, man?
Yeah, I see a lot of people. Yeah, everybody like who's joined us here. Say what's up in the chat. Um, I know like let me know when you're ready to share your screen. But the one thing that I know before with your workflow we've had to do a lot was like rotoscope, and just that alone was pretty much like a no go for me. You know how much I hate rotoscoping stuff.
Bro, no one likes rotoscoping. I think
I think you kind of like it though, because you're so good at it now.
I got fast at it. Doesn't mean I like it, but
Yeah.
I'm convinced that anyone who's a professional rotoscope artist is just like those are the type of people that put the milk in their bowl first and then pour the cereal in.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, I approve of that.
Yeah, once again, I'm looking for a specific video here that was really Purrs. What's up, buddy? There's a specific video I'm looking for in my folder that was really the start of everything. I'm looking for the Zen Garden video.
Oh, I know which one that is. But yeah, as soon as you're ready to roll, let me know. I will switch over to the.
Yeah, just give me 1 second because we're dipping into the folder now where I haven't been in a minute.
Yeah, we want to make sure there is nothing that's not PG-13. That's for sure too. Can you?
Let me make sure that this will replay when it's done. Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it.
Ready? I'm going to switch over to your screen. Yeah, here we go.
All right, guys. So, let me move this over so that we are not covering it, and maybe actually let me just get all my other fun stuff off the screen. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me switch back to the thing. Maximize. Here we go.
All right. So this was one of the videos. Well, actually, here I'm gonna walk you guys through the entire timeline, and I think
something's funny. We don't see. Hold on. Let me see what's going on. Let me go back to. Yeah, here. Now we see it.
You see the pina colada?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the entire kind of like the timeline here of how I arrived at these different ideas and how I was thinking about this stuff, because I think that actually holds more value than some of the finer technical ComfyUI details. Because truth be told, I'm not the technical ComfyUI wizard. Yeah, so this video here, MJ, do it so our cameras are still on the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I didn't want to interrupt because I kind of like I pressed the wrong button, and so the cameras are gone. So if I go, hold on, how do I bring the cameras back?
There should be a I think you might have to minimize. You like click the little minimize thing on this, and then I think the cameras will come back.
On there.
Bam, bam, bam. I got some gems for you guys. I promise. I got some gems.
Yeah, I have that here, but that's not what you're looking for. Man,
no, we want the one we were on where like we were small on the bottom.
Yeah, they're gone though. That's funny because I clicked on maximize.
Yeah, so if you hover over the corner, there should be like a minimize thing.
It says maximize and then minimize.
Oh, so then click maximize again.
I did. It doesn't change. It's
okay. It's all good. We will make do. We'll make do. So
this joint is gonna help me.
This right here is the very first video that cracked open the kind of like dancing object thing for me. When I saw what I was able to get with this idea of having like the pineapple dancing in the glass, suddenly a bunch of ideas started rushing through my head. Now, the funny backstory about this video is the night I made this, me and Gertie used to talk a lot on the back end of things. That works. Okay. Me and Gertie got it. You know, Gertie dancing, formerly dancing statue man, now dancing plant leaf man. Gertie and I used to talk a lot about the behind the scenes of things. And every time we would figure out something kind of like cool, we would DM each other and be like, yo, you gotta see this. I DM'd him the night that I made this video and he DM'd me too. And we both said, yo, I made something you gotta see.
Mhm.
I made this video, and Gertie made the dancing spaghetti video that blew up, that like basically
Mhm.
kicked off the dancing food trend. And everybody was trying to make the dancing spaghetti noodles, and MDK made a tutorial on how to make the dancing spaghetti noodles. But what I did here, let me, do I have the images? So what I figured out with this video was that I could take an image and basically use it as my background and keep it stable by using two separate IP adapters in the workflow, one for the background, one for the subject. And I had seen from previous experiments that just through using like some simple masking, Animate Diff was able to blend stuff together
Mhm.
really, really, really well. And blend stuff together that you didn't think it would actually happen. So like, this is what the actual input video for that looked like.
Oh, Jesus.
So you see, I made this background image in Midjourney. That's not a real image I grabbed off of Pinterest, because I specifically wanted Diamond Head in the background because I live in Hawaii and Diamond Head is right across the street from me. But I rotoscoped these dancers out, and as you can see, there's a little feather blur on the bottom of them there
Mhm.
for them to kind of blend into the cup. And by giving, and I'll show you guys the workflow after we get a little further into this, because I have that queued up, but for a different video. But this is what I was able to get out of it by using some reference images of pineapple slices, and by
Damn.
using
Yeah.
the same background image, right, that was there as the IP adapter for the background. So I was basically reinforcing the background IP adapter through in Comfy. So I was putting the background image in the video, and I was using the background image in the exact same background image as the IP adapter.
Yeah, so you fed it through twice through in your workflow in different locations so that it's yeah, it's stuck essentially.
But then this I was like, okay, wait, let me see if I can take this a step further. And from there, sorry, I'm in a
Yeah,
folder
no
on
worries.
monitor. From there, that led to the Zen Garden.
Yeah, let's see that one. Oh
So
yeah, the one with the rocks. Yep.
here's the Zen Garden. Now, the Zen Garden was a really big win because notice the camera movement in here.
Mhm.
Well, I'm animating that crop out in After Effects. So the image is like zoomed in, and then I'm slowly making it crop out,
Mhm.
and it totally nailed the context. But see the little fish on the bottom there?
Yeah.
And then the fish also comes back on the top.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect.
So I actually put that fish in on my own. So this is what it looked like. Let me find here. So dancer, background,
Hmm.
and that was the initial one. It was just like an image of a fish, and I was like, oh, it'll be so dope if the fish moves. And let me find what the one that actually had the moving fish in it so you guys can see.
Yeah, it's all this composition and preparation work is pretty
There we
crazy.
go. There we go. So I generative filled out the fish, and then I went on YouTube and I grabbed a green screen video of this fish, and I put the fish in After Effects, and I just like dragged it around with position keyframes and had it do its thing around the bowl. And okay, sure, it it turned the fish into a stone and maybe into a little bit of a flower,
It still works.
but I'm not gonna cry about that.
Yeah, it gives it does the trick.
Because I actually think that the animate diff made the image better than
Mhm.
what it was. And the thing that impressed me the most was this was like it 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 nailed it for the most part. For the most part, it nailed the perspective of the stones
Mhm.
with kind of like that top down angle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then this showed me like, okay, there's actually a lot that I can do here. And
Mhm.
I started, so that eventually led to the where is it?
I
The
I like that you're
original.
telling the story and you remember, like, the steps. It's awesome.
No, because this was like a very specific order of events, and then
Yeah.
every video I was like learning something new that could be done and building on it.
Mhm.
So that one led to this.
Oh,
So
this one was the one I remember the most personally.
this was where it all changed, right? Because all of those videos, as I posted them on my Instagram,
Mhm.
they got like a couple thousand views. It was all good. I was mostly stoked about it because I knew that it was leading in some type of direction. Um, I just like on a whim one night made this stupid video of this background image. And I was like, what if the syrup had a pole dancer on it?
There we go.
And so this is what that video looks like.
Jiru flashbacks.
No one, no, you guys are the first ones to see what this looked like outside of Anime Diff because I'm telling you guys, no one still has duplicated these videos the way that I did them. There have been many challengers, but no one has cracked it, and I take great pride in that. But yeah, so this was a pole dancer that I ended up actually working with a lot. Her name is Nirvana. This was
Mhm.
the first video I did of her. She saw it, she loved it, and then I collaborated with her on like a bunch of videos after this, and a lot of them did a lot of views. But this video in particular um did got 40 million views, and it actually made the song Nice and Slow by Usher start trending on Instagram again.
Yeah, that's
Which was super funny because then whenever you would go to the Nice and Slow by Usher Instagram page for a couple months, this was the video at the very top of that song. But so then it went from this and
yeah, that's it.
it turned, oh wait, no, oh, I forgot I added the egg
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, the egg yolks. Yeah.
I forgot about the egg girl because I was like, yo, there needs to be one more. There needs to be one more thing in here to like tie it all together. So we had the pole dancing syrup, and I was like, what if the yolk on the egg was doing something? And I was scrolling through my Instagram, and God bless my Instagram algorithm because at the time it showed me this girl who her entire page is her doing like these crazy ecstatic yoga dance stretching things, but literally no one else like dances like her. Like
Mhm.
even still to now, I haven't come across another page of any girl that's kind of like doing the same thing that she was doing. And these two girls ended up being integral parts of this entire era of my video making because I use them in like, I want to say probably like 80% of my videos.
Yeah.
And, but so I put this girl on the egg yolk, and this turned into this.
Classic. Classic Jibu right there.
So we got
I'm hungry. This is not helping.
so we got the pole dancing maple syrup, we got the praise dancing ecstatic yoga egg yolk, and for just like the little bit of AI jank to make people call stuff out and actually like force people to comment too. We got this random egg that like rolls across the background
Where do we
somewhere.
see
Like
it?
where is it? It's right. Dun, 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 dun. Where is it? Right
Oh,
there.
damn! I've never
Right
noticed that
there.
one.
That egg actually caused like a bunch of people saw it and a bunch of people commented. So if you guys want a little social media hack, um purposefully make things not perfect, because it's going to force people to comment and point it out, because everyone wants to feel special and they want to feel like they're
Aha,
like,
you got it. Yeah.
aha, I saw
You
it.
only have
You
five
guys are
fingers or
stupid.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the she has 6 fingers, or the bowl's floating, like whatever. Leave some of that AI jank to let people have conversations about it
And
in
engage.
the
Yeah.
comments.
That makes sense.
So this video changed it all. But then from here,
Where did you go next?
I took it a step further, and we went into breakfast sausage yoga. And this was my brain was going like every night. My brain was going 1,000 miles an hour trying to think of all these weird food combinations and different ways that I could set this stuff up. But wait, let me where's the sausage yoga? Sausage yoga? What's it called? Let me find it. Sausage.
Oh, this one is classic too.
I want to show the output first, though. I just got to find the sausage yoga.
For anyone joining us right now, yeah, don't worry, you're in the right place. It's about comfy. Yeah, J-Boog is showing us like his food creation that he made in comfy, and right now we're on the sausage yoga one.
This is a nice little trip down
Memory lane.
memory lane, because I haven't used Comfy in a minute. But with that being said, I actually think right now there's a part of me that wants to make a few more of these videos and see how they do, because I feel like now everyone has moved to the image to video workflow. And so I kind of want to see like now this feels like it could be a cool thing to do again, right? Because not everyone's doing it.
Yeah, and vid to vid especially, like it's definitely done less, I would say now.
So okay, here's the final of the breakfast sausage yoga.
This one.
So now we went from a single scene, right, with like 1 or 2 subjects, and now I'm thinking about like, okay, how can I build these little worlds using these techniques that I've been like picking up every step of the way through every video, because every video I was literally experimenting, and I was like, I wonder if Animate Diff can do this. Wait, no, there's no way Animate Diff can do this. And it kept surprising me. And it kept doing it, which is why I always I was a very big advocate for really sitting in your workflow. Like when you find a workflow you like, and you kind of have a style of content that you make, I think there's a lot to be said for people that dig their heels in and are like, okay, how far can I take this? And so that, though, looked like this in After Effects before it hit Comfy. So you can see that here I had my background, right? And my mid-journey prompts are crazy, bro. It's like a yoga studio made with pancake, with yoga mats made of pancakes, with butter and egg art on the wall. Like my mid-journey prompts are silly, but
I think my favorite is the egg on the wall. I'm not gonna lie, this is like classic.
But essentially what happened here is let me pause this real quick. Each one of these is an individual layer, and this girl, this is just like a simple 2D video. So the actual video of this, I think it's this one. Yeah. So this girl's name is Flogo Girl. And she actually has like a pretty big following now. But yeah, she makes these really sick rhythmic yoga videos. And so what I did was I cut her out. And as you can see, the entire thing is just 2D. There's no three dimension to this. The entire thing is 2D.
Yeah.
And after I cut her out, I shrunk her down to size. And in After Effects, I'm assuming most people in here have at least a little bit of After Effects knowledge, but you can turn any 2D layer into a 3D layer. Now, does that mean that it's going to make something 2D be like a proper 3D thing with like fully articulated sides? No, but it's going to make it so that it adds the Z axis to it and you can spin it
Rotate
around.
around. Yeah.
So after I cut her out, this is what it would. Oh, wait, no, come back. Boom. Okay, so after I cut her out, there's this little like 3-dimensional cube thing down here in your After Effects timeline window that if you turn that cube on, it's going to make that layer a 3D layer. So I turn that cube on, and then I would just rotate and position.
Yep. Set the stage essentially.
Yep. And then I would do it for each one, and I literally just like this one. It's literally a duplicate of this one. I just
further,
boom, dragged it along the Z axis, so it stayed in like the exact same kind of like
position.
Because after a while, I realized like, okay, I just need to get the input video like 70% of the way there.
Yeah.
And Animate Diff can totally do the rest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then after this all goes in, my workflow required.
There it is, people. And like I said, this is basically more or less with fine-tuning and tweaking what people can, I believe, find on Civit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I have a somewhat simplified version on Civit. My workflow was always kind of like evolving and changing based on the videos that I was currently making. But for the most part, like the base workflow that I always used is still there to be available for download on my Civitai account. But I don't know how many of you guys still want to do this, because I know Juan is all the rage lately. But I would take my input video, right? So I have her on all the pancakes and whatnot. My usual go-to was depth, open pose, and QR code monster, because there was just something about the combination of depth, open pose, and QR code monster that like could properly transform the person. And I had my workflow set up for this particular one. I was using 2 IP adapters. And the thing that I think people were always kind of shocked about was that this was happening all in a single run.
This is the beauty of this workflow, I think.
Yeah, because this wasn't multiple runs. This was all happening in a single run. And so I had 2 IP adapters set up, and I had figured out that for me though, maybe this is just me thinking it was doing better, but I was convinced that my IP adapters always worked better when I used 2 of them.
When you would do it twice, I remember that.
And I would see like people that would always mangle my my workflows. But so right here, I have 2 different subject IP adapters. Wait, Fryoshi says, is that an alpha channel with the yoga girls from AE? Boom, I'm getting there. And So,
yep.
So both of these IP adapters are focusing on the subjects. They both have a load video, which is your alpha mask. I made these masks. I always made these masks manually in After Effects. So in After Effects, after I had this scene set up, I always put a black background. And then on each one of the girls, if you just put a curves effect and drag the highlights all the way up to the top, then you have your perfect alpha. I am a very, very strong advocate for the devil is in the details, and the details are how you set yourself apart from everybody else. So I always manually made my mask to match the exact rotoscopes that I was doing in After Effects. That way I knew that I was getting the cleanest possible mask, because I wanted everything to just be that extra like that extra
Precise,
1% better or crispy than like everything else I was seeing on Instagram. And so both IP adapters have their own load video, which is a mask. And then of course the convert image to mask, and then you resize the mask. And I put on a little grow mask with blur so that you could get just a little bit of feather, so it blends in better with the background. Whether that did anything or not, I don't know.
I think I can see that helping for sure.
But I was so when I first made this video, I think like the egg wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to on the wall. So I went back into After Effects and I made a mask just for the yolk of the egg. And so here's the IP adapter for the egg, right? And then for the girl, this was the IP adapter, just this plate of breakfast sausage. And then I had two more IP adapters.
Oh, for the background, that's right.
So the rule here was if it has a mask and you're applying an IP adapter only to that mask, well, that one adversely needs to have another IP adapter for what is happening outside of the mask. And then per the technique that I figured out back in the it actually happened before the pina colada video, but I can go back and show that later.
Purse.
What's up, Purse?
Hello, friends.
I broke the setup, Purse. Sorry if you want to fix it.
You broke it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, the screen is not full. I mean, whatever. We're making do, but.
Oh, here you go.
Boom.
Oh, damn.
Boom.
Oh, that was just that. I see it now. Okay, but we continue. Sorry. That was very easy.
I basically figured out that if I was using the same background image as my background IP adapter as I was using in the actual video I was compositing in After Effects, that it just like that background got reinforced and it got
even more.
It stayed completely stable the entire time. And then that came out perfectly. But I actually let me see, where is that video, because that made me remember the video that actually just really actually cracked everything open for me prior to the pina colada one. So this video right here, this girl's dancing. Notice the camera movements and how I'm animating the background. I'm making the background kind of shift to side with her because she was moving around so much that I just kept her center. But then based on whatever movement she was doing, I animated the background to follow her. And I was like, I wonder if as I'm doing that, Animate Diff will animate the background almost like the camera's moving. And it it totally followed her. So now this made me realize that we can reinforce the background, and two, it also made me realize like, oh shit, I can actually control the camera, at least on like the side to side plane, and I can have this like really wide scene and have the character moving beyond just the aspect ratio of the 9:16, and Animate Diff would totally work with it. And so you can see too that I was taking I think this was the image that like I grabbed off of Pinterest to use as the background. But then before I put it into After Effects, I just generative expanded it.
Oh, so you could actually pan side to side. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You just take a slice 9:16 and slide it.
Yeah, and this was the one that I actually ended up using for the video. But you can see like I zoomed it out, I generative expanded it, and then just slided it side to side. And here, let me actually open that up just so I can. Don't save. I want all these projects to stay just as they
were. Yeah, stable.
Their glory.
This is actually something we've been talking about quite a bit on the stream, where it's like, tell the people how not afraid you are to you combine closed and open source tools.
I am completely convinced that even now, with the rise of all the closed source stuff that people are using, right, the clings and everything, like the magic is still in finding the ways to put all these different pieces together to actually create your own style. Like, how can we take these things that the general public is completely convinced are totally devoid of soul and style and taste, and how can we inject ourselves back into it? And I really think that comes with the stacking and the combination of all these different techniques and tools.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
that's why JBook, the beauty of it's cool that they released the API nodes in Comfy, so these things can be actually directly generated within Comfy, so that opens up like some of these possibilities.
Yeah, cool. So here, because this is boom, boom, boom. Okay, here we go. So what do I do here? Yeah, okay. So the image actually wasn't taking up the entire vertical frame, and I was sick of generative expanding it so much. And what I did was I actually just put a white bar on the bottom of the video, and I was like, Animate Diff is gonna fill that in for me.
The diffuse, yeah.
And it did. And I knew that it was going to, because I had done that previously in a much simpler idea than this. But you can see like this purple line right here is the entire frame of that image. And as the video goes on, you can see like all these keyframes right here. I'm just actually, wait, let me there's a bunch of keyframes right here, and as the keyframes are going, I'm literally just sliding around that image to keep her center, and Animate Diff just does the rest of the work for me after I push a few magic buttons.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But this workflow really, this was probably like a defining tool for me for the better part of the last 2 years, because I think this came after I was doing the black backgrounds. Yeah. The food came after the black backgrounds.
It did. I think the food, you did the food, and then you had a transition to the grills, but the food was right before, I think.
That's true. There was a brief intermission on
turtles eating pineapple and whatnot, or
hot girls with dangerous animals. That was the brief transition. But yeah, like I'm down for to answer questions or whatever for the last little while we're here. But this is like,
this is basically like you explain, like I would say, like pretty deeply the concept and the behind the scene on how this is created.
yeah. So I actually answered that question for Yoshi.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, great.
When yeah, the just like all the important thing here too is that each one of these IP adapters, after it came out of like the resize mask and the convert image to mask, which I forget who it was, but the resize mask was something that eluded me when I was trying to put this together, and I don't remember who maybe it was like Kijai or something. Like I know that one night, like no one else
Yes, I
was
remember.
online, or the couple people that were online couldn't help me figure it out. And I went into Banadoko, and I think Kijai was like, send me your workflow. And I sent it to him, and he was like, here. And he gave it back to me, and it was like completely tore apart
I
and mangled.
remember. Yeah.
But that was in there, and it worked. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it did something. It was one of those nodes. It did something that we didn't think about that made it. Remember, like we were running into CUDA errors.
Exactly. If you don't have the resize mask, then it was basically running
Not working.
the video at the full size, and it just was like, your 4090 can't do this.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the important thing is that each one of these resize mask and convert image to mask needs an invert mask between the subject IP adapter and the background IP adapters, so that the background IP adapters knows to fill in the black with whatever you have in those. Blender, I mean, which as long as you're comfortable working in Blender, then you could literally do everything you do in After Effects in Blender at this point. Maybe Pers, maybe.
Mostly,
You're the Blender guy. You answer that.
Yeah, they're different approaches. After Effects has 3D in it because of Cinema 4D. And there's like a bit of Cinema 4D in After Effects, so you get a bit of a 3D engine. But Blender is like an actual 3D engine. So if you need a camera and a light and you need to like film stuff in a 3D engine, Blender's the way to go. If you want to learn straight up compositing and keyframe animation for 2D stuff, After Effects is still way better for that like exact stuff. You can do a lot of the things you can do in After Effects in Blender, but it's usually 2-3 times as hard, slower, and maybe not as accurate. That's just because open source versus Adobe. It's just the nature of the beast. So yeah, 2D keyframe type animation, you're not going to find anything like more user-friendly than After Effects in that capacity, I don't think. But you can do a lot of that stuff in Blender if you have the the persistence to stick with it. A lot of the stuff that After Effects does, Blender can also do, but there's a lot of stuff that After Effects just does better. So yeah, free software versus not free software, you kind of get what you pay for. But yeah, Blender, I can't recommend Blender enough as a thing to learn if you're into this stuff, because it's free. There's a gajillion tutorials out there, and you can do almost anything in Blender. So yeah.
What I had really gotten obsessed with during this time frame was like I was enamored with the fact that I could generate whatever background I wanted to have my little fantastical worlds take place in, and I just needed to generate the image. Right now, we're not even talking about me needing to generate a video or find a video. I could literally go into Midjourney and just play for hours until I got a background that I felt worked. And from there, I just needed to find the right movement to like turn into whatever thing I wanted to put into it. But discovering this whole thing with the double IP adapters for the subject and the background, and making these like faux 3D scenes in After Effects, because they're not really 3D, right? It's just me like playing with rotation on the Z-axis with 2D assets. it just like it made this process so much fun for me because for a period of time here, I really felt like I could build and make whatever I had in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely push that concept pretty far.
Yeah, and well, the other thing is like taking what you started with, like your compositing stuff. That's what you would give to a compositing team to do the work. It's like you basically only have to do the block out, and then animate diff kind of handles the rest. As long as you have that vision to execute all the way down the line. But trying to take from where you start and to like finish like that, the amount of compositing work there would be like
Yeah.
astronomical compared to just being able to sort of throw it at the AI.
I remember I was so proud of this breakfast sausage video, and every time I watched it, it just like tickled me, especially the song that I put it to. It just like people flipped out over it, right? And the yoga women loved it. They were like, this is what I want. This is the type of yoga class I want to go to. And so I was so happy with it that I actually put this video in the After Effects subreddit, and oh my God, they tore me apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt.
Oh, that's crazy.
They just like they saw no value in what I was trying to show, and that was probably the very first big punch in the face for me. Bam. There we go. That was like the very first big punch in the face for me that made me realize like, okay, just because I'm using a software in it, the people that use that's like, that was the realization where, okay, no, this is their AI is going to remain outside the realm of what quote unquote professional VFX people find acceptable.
Did you tell these fine people about your Coachella experience?
I did not.
Maybe you can tell them how far you've taken Comfy.
Yeah. So wait, let me see if I can actually pull up
Maybe
the
show you Instagram page, maybe, or unless you have the file. Yeah, that works.
Workflow, because
that was a crazy one.
Coachella workflow was. So just a little bit of context before I pull that up. I got brought on to do Coachella for Anima and Grimes because of Banadoko. The people that hired me for that Coachella thing, which really set the tone for a very large number of things that I did after that, especially with missing node types, of course. Especially with some things that I did on social media. That only happened because, again, I don't hold any of my artwork in. I post everything for better or worse. And the person who found me in Banadoko, who approached me about doing the Coachella thing, had been keeping up with my stuff in specifically Banadoko for about 6 months and just lurking and never said anything.
Yeah.
So let this also be the professional cautionary tale to you guys, because I know we all like to let our tongues get a little bit sharper online than maybe they would be in person. But I am always very aware of how I carry myself and how I operate online in anything that's public front facing, because you never know who is paying attention, and something you say could be the thing that costs you a $20,000 job 3 months from then, because someone didn't like the way you said something and you would never even know it. So the anima thing, all my workflows were kind of like relatively the same. This one kept characters on a black background, and I was given these 3D renders. Actually, it's not going to show the input video, but they wait, I can pull up in here. Anima, Boom. Here we go. So I got sent 3D renders on Thursday night from their team. Keep in mind, I got hired to do this 3 months before Coachella, but they told me from the very beginning, you're not going to get the actual things until about a day and a half before the event. So I was prepared going into Coachella weekend that it was going to be crunch time. But as you can see here, this is a very wide thing that Comfy probably did not want to play nice with this aspect ratio, nor could it, because the aspect ratio would have had to have been so small. This was actually the second version I did for them, the second night, and all these glitches and stuff are things I did in After Effects after I rendered the characters in Comfy. But to do this, to actually be able to render this in Comfy with enough detail, I had to chop I had to chop it up into, oh wait, I have the raws in here. Anima, where are you?
And you're organized, you're keeping everything
nice. It's like it's organized, but it's like there's been so much over such a crazy period of time that it's just like,
I love that we all have our own ways to organize like this. It's pretty
okay.
crazy.
Here we go. So this is the 3D render of the cables. But I had to, in After Effects, I was creating separate compositions for, there were 2 sets of cables and there were 2 characters. So for each sets of cables and for each character, I created a composition that allowed me to get the full image or the full video in there with it being as absolutely big as possible. So I was literally like scrubbing through the frame and figuring out what the aspect ratio had to be for this thing to be full size while not leaving the frame through any of the movements.
Yeah.
So it took me a minute to figure out the aspect ratios, and I had to crop all 4 items out into separate videos. And then I had to run each one of them by themselves. And then after it was all said and done, I had to take each one of these individual videos back into After Effects and recomposite them perfectly pixel for pixel on the full stretch thing, because that was what I had to send the client, because it had to go on the main Coachella screen. And I think I actually can, I think I have that. Let me 1 second here. I think behind the scenes. So I have a behind the scenes thing. Anima, where did it go? Oh, here, I just pull it up on my Instagram. Which now, my work for Anima, like this Coachella video, has now over the course of time been seen 1 million times. So 1 million people have seen that I did this work at Coachella.
Oh yeah, shit, it's super cool.
Damn.
This video hit 5 million views. Let's go.
That's so huge.
Okay, so this is the full animation on the big screen at Coachella with Grimes on the stage. And I was watching it live in Discord with these 5 minutes.
Massive.
Super cool. Super cool. Still probably one of the biggest highlights of anything AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like as like as people doing this and playing with these tools, like what more could we ask for? Right? Like that. And there's also, you know, we get pushed down a lot on social by all these random people that come across our stuff, and it's like AI is you're a talentless hack and da 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 blah blah. We've all heard all of the things, but when you get hired for stuff like that, there's like an intense amount of validation for all the time and effort that actually goes into this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
a lot of prep work, obviously, as you could just show the people.
And now I've been doing a lot of this image to video stuff, which like I'm super proud of. I've somehow found my own style, but I think I might want to start playing around with Comfy again. I was flirting with the idea of maybe doing some like characters on a black background type thing, but when I was doing the characters on the black background, where let me just scroll down enough to where I can get to a few, I was being very stubborn. So like this was probably one of the last things I made in Comfy.
Yeah, apologies for the muted video, everybody.
I was really in love with kind of like the prismatic effect and everything, but I was really stubborn with these black background videos I was making because I was like, no, I only want to make these things that like I'm really into and whatnot. Like I love these organic glowing characters. And as a professional, and I know a lot of people that use Comfy and that are doing AI are looking for their lane if they haven't found it yet, or they're not working for a studio or something. They're trying to figure out how to make money with this stuff. A frame of mind that I've learned to enjoy adopting is like 3 for them, 1 for me. So for every 3 videos that I make specifically for the algorithm that I know it will hit the retention and the song is good and the subject matter is something that's borderline cringe, right? Like whatever. For every 3 of those videos, I get to make one that's just something personal that I want to work on. And adopting that frame of mind has, 1, not only helped me grow, but 2, it's actually, rather than feeling like I was selling out with that content, it took me from feeling like everything I was making was like very like heavy and artistic and this is serious and I'm expressing myself to like, fuck, I get to just have fun and make some dumb shit every now and then. And most people just want to see some funny dumb shit because life is hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey, just have fun in the process too. It's
So
good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's kind of I gave you guys kind of my whole
Your
Comfy
story too.
journey in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining, J-Boog. It's very nice of you. It's really awesome to get behind the scene, from your workflow, how you approached it and everything. And Purse, did you have some questions for him too?
I talk to this guy like every day, man.
Oh, actually, J-Boog, where are you going to be next week? Tell the people.
Yeah, so I am actually going to be at Upscale Conference. If anyone is there and you guys see me, please say hello. I will be seeing these 2 fine guys, but I will be at Upscale with Live Peer and Daydream, since that is who I am. My day job is with currently. And sorry, I'm going to plug myself here real quick. Every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, I do Twitch streams that stream on my Twitch, on my YouTube channel, and on X, but I suggest watching it on Twitch or YouTube, where I front to back an entire video for social media on the stream, and my streams usually last anywhere from 4 to like 5.5 hours. And I usually have like there's been 100 people in there the past couple weeks, and it's a really good vibe. I know a lot of people use my Friday night streams as co-working sessions, but it's an insight into what I do, how I think, and how I like cultivate all these views that I've been able to somehow get on Instagram. And I also have this YouTube channel, which I'll give you guys the link in the little private chat right there. My YouTube channel, which has been coming to life in the past month. I just hit 10,500 subscribers. I post one video a week going over different things about how to make specifically the type of stuff that I make, and not just some like boilerplate cyberpunk woman AI stuff that a lot of the other YouTube channels will do. But when people want to know how to dive deeper into the open source stuff, I always send them to my buddy Pers. So Pers can take on that debt.
I know a guy.
Do you use a good graphics card like so Briefo agency? When I do open source stuff and I use ComfyUI, I do have a PC that has a 4090 in it. I had a 3090 before. As soon as I got my first AI music video job that paid me a decent amount of money, that entire paycheck upgraded my 3090 computer to a 4090 computer, and 100% of that money got reinvested back into this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much
Thanks
for joining.
coming out, man. Yeah.
Sorry for the camera issue, but hey, you got a side view of your friend.
We got it figured out. Yeah, figured out. A live stream wouldn't be a live stream without a little bit of technical issues.
Yep.
That is fair. Thanks for joining us, Pers, too, along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be back on Friday. Not sure what we're going to cover, but it might be fun. Something will probably come out before then. So we'll either play with that or we'll play with whatever crazy stuff they've put into Comfy when I wasn't looking. So yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jboog, MJ, everybody. Man,
thank you so much.
We appreciate you coming and hanging out with us all the time. We do this twice a week, and then we're just going to do even more sessions when things come up. So yeah, subscribe to the notifications so you'll see when we pop up, because every now and then we might just do a little impromptu stream if some new stuff comes out and it's fun to play with. So stay tuned. Much love from the Comfy crew. Thanks again, Jboog. Go follow Jboog on all of his socials, which we will be posting all of the social links in the description below on YouTube, and it's jboogx.creative or
no. It's now it's just jboogx creative. The dot was becoming an issue in too many places.
Right on. Well, yeah. So, but yeah, you'll see the links in the description below. Everybody, go follow Boogs for daily. Well, I don't want to hold him to that, but
daily nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daily, very, very
heavy
nonsensical,
but technically proficient nonsense that will make you go, "Oh, AI is pretty cool."
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you real soon.
Guys.
Bye, Pers.
Bam.